Presiding Officer, I welcome this debate today, and it is clear from the discussion so far and from the level of interest generated in this subject that in Scotland we have the opportunity to get this right for every person who needs to access these services. I want first to look at the importance of skills. In a brief from SCVO, they highlight the number of interesting statistics, one of which is that despite the high levels of investment, there remains a skills mismatch in Scotland, and 69% of businesses in Scotland are not confident about filling high-skilled jobs of the future. Indeed, if you look at most areas in Scotland, in the building trade, in the care sector, in manufacturing, in so many sectors across Scotland, there are major skills shortages. So we should be clear from the outset and make sure that the employment support programmes that we develop here in Scotland are meaningful in that they will equip people for the world of work. I speak as someone who started off their working life on a YTS programme. And I say employment programmes must be about more than meeting targets to get people off benefits. Their main objective must be to provide the support, the guidance, the signposting, the direction and the training opportunities that will result in good paid, sustainable employment. And if we are to achieve this, then I would suggest we need joined-up strategies based on local intelligence in terms of the support and skills needs locally and the availability of employment in the local area and region. And services must be designed to meet people's needs rather than people being expected to fit into some kind of government programme. The example from the SCVO of their work in Glasgow, where there was a requirement and a demand for support with numeracy and literacy, is a good one. One I suspect that we would find in all parts of Scotland. As they put it, without basic education, young people are unable to participate in further education, training or employment. That is, of course, also the case with adults. And to simply put people onto employment programmes without addressing their basic support needs is simply to tick a box, get people off benefits for a short period of time and do very little to help them improve their prospects for the longer term. So any system, any programme that is to work for the individual, for that person, must have a comprehensive and personalised initial assessment, a kind of individual work plan that sets out how that person or what that person's support needs are and the progress being made to meet those individual needs. A person-centred work programme is what we need to strive for as we develop these new programmes in Scotland. I would also suggest that we must devolve much of the responsibility for the development and management of employment programmes to a regional level across Scotland. The report from the Joseph Rowntree Foundation, We Can Solve Poverty, published just a few weeks ago, makes the point that devolution is one of the defining political agendas of our time. They say, and I quote, "Poverty will not be solved from Whitehall or by central government alone, but by policymakers closer to those people experiencing it." I say today that we must move beyond Holyrood and take the new powers and budgets much further down to achieve the best results for the people of Scotland. The Rowntree report also states local authorities can play a leadership role, developing an economic vision tailored for their area, bringing together local partners to deliver it. So for me, we must build a partnership at a more local level. Such partnerships must bring together businesses, employers, trade unions, setting regional skills and job strategies and putting in place whatever provision is required to deliver a person-centred approach to getting unemployed people into good, sustainable employment. I have to say that whilst I have been a vocal supporter of community planning, I do not think the objectives have been achieved in most areas, and it has become a bit of a tick-box exercise for professionals in public sector organisations, and has failed to properly engage with key stakeholders from the third sector, from employers and from trade unions. So a rethink on community planning, but the principle of planning and delivering skills, training and jobs at a regional and local level is, in my view, a must, and we should be willing to start looking and use the powers, use these new powers and services, and talk with our partners right across the third sector, right across local government, taking a local approach, a regional approach, and most importantly of all, a personal approach to the individuals concerned.